So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 70 discussion of Kaiju number 8, or Kaiju 8号. So Chapter 70 came out a few days ago, and as always I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, we'll go take a look at it before they pull this chapter back. Now Chapter 70, I really enjoyed Chapter 70 a lot. And it continues on very well the story that has been going on for several chapters regarding the training arc, as well as the previous chapter that showed a very sentimental moment, but ended in a very tense manner. As we recall in chapter 69, the chapter was really very personable and very wholesome for the majority of the chapter, but at the very end, Matsumoto Naoya gave a very dark twist by bringing out one of the monsters and beginning to show the devastation that these monsters can bring out. And so chapter 70 continues on with that, but it ups the ante significantly. What we thought was maybe one monster from chapter 69 turns out to be a whole horde of monsters in chapter 70. And although we saw multiple monster sightings in previous chapters, it was nowheres to the level that we see in chapter 70, and this is best portrayed in a scene where they show the headquarters of the JDF completely overwhelmed by all the monster sightings that are appearing simultaneously. You could see that there is this absolute helplessness that the headquarters is showing in trying to figure out how they're going to stop this monster horde. And what's interesting is during this time, chapter 70 starts out with one of these specific attacks. And why I enjoyed this opening was because it was very nostalgic. We were introduced once again to Toku, a character that came out in the first chapter of Kaiju number 8, and was the boss of Kafka when Kafka was still working at that monster cleanup crew. And so it's really nice to see Toku again, and what's heartening is that this is a story about a wedding where Toku's daughter, Chieko, is getting married. And although it is a very short part of this chapter, the way Matsumoto Naoya wrote it was very, very good, and it gave a nice, wholesome, heartening feeling to this entire story, which was perfect because then it turned completely around 180 degrees and went from 0 to 100 in the tension side when the monster appeared. And when you combine this with the fact that the JDF is completely overwhelmed, it sets up a really tense situation with a character that you actually care for. Now, Toku is not a JDF member. He can't fight this monster, but he is a father, and he is noticing that the monster is going specifically after the bride, his daughter. And so he is doing everything he possibly can to save the daughter. And the only thing he can do is to try to become a sacrificial lamb by redirecting the monster's attention from the daughter to him. And you could see the absolute crisis that he feels and the sheer determination that he gives in trying to bring the monster towards him. But what we find out is that the monster is not changing its mind, and it continues to attack the daughter. Now, considering that this is Matsumoto Naoya that we're talking about, and this is monster number 8, it's not Berserk, it's not Tokyo Ghoul, it's not Attack on Titan. We kind of expect in the back of our mind that things will be okay. But the way he set this story up, knowing that the JDF is completely overwhelmed and they're not exactly sure where they can even save these people, you have no idea what's going to happen to the daughter. And considering just how far this chapter shows where the monster is attacking the daughter, you almost get a feeling that this may turn out to be extremely tragic, and right at the very last moment, Matsumoto Naoya turns it around completely again by bringing Commander Narumi out to take out this monster. And I thought, despite the fact that you kind of expected this to happen, you still enjoyed this part of the story. It was really well done, and by introducing Toku back again, you kind of felt for the characters who were in peril, and you hope that they will be saved, which they, of course, were. And this is when we find out the difference between the soldiers and the headquarters. The headquarters is sitting there panicking, not knowing what to do. But the soldiers are set to take on the monsters. They have promised themselves that they knew that the horde was coming. They knew that the horde was going to be extremely powerful and very dangerous. And yet they made the commitment that they were going to go and take care of these monsters. And so this chapter ends with the soldiers all ready to go into battle. And I thought that that was really well done. It really puts a good ending on the training arc, and it sets up the chapters really well for the expected intense battle to come. And so I thought Matsumoto Naoya did a really good job in showing just how critical and dangerous this new monster horde is. But by doing so, it also sets up the understanding that we can expect a really good story with regards to the new Kikoru, the new Leno, the new Vice Commander Hoshina, and of course the new Kafka. We don't know what their powers are yet, but it will be very much anticipated over the next few chapters of their appearance, as well as all of these other characters that we have not really followed with regards to the power-up. But they probably have trained extremely hard on their own. And so the next few chapters should be very interesting, and it does create a situation that I am really looking forward to chapter 71 to come out. And once it does, I'll bring out another video. I hope you join me at that time. But this is the chapter 70 discussion for Kaiju number 8. If you read it, what'd you think about it? Any comments would be greatly appreciated. And until the next episode, happy manga reading. And as always, Jaya, nice day everyone.